Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Website 101 podcast. I'm like looking at all of the monitors right now because my friends aren't here with me. They're taking a hot minute to join. Hold on. There's that. Mike should be here. Now I probably just have to allow him in. This is why I don't usually play host. This is why I don't. There he is. Hi, Mike.
Hi, everybody. All right, is this live? We going?
It is. We are going. I rambled for a bit in the beginning by myself. Take two. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Website 101 podcast. This is the podcast for people who want to create or maintain websites. I am one of your hosts, Amanda Lutz. Hey, everyone. Joining me today is Mike Mella, even though he was late and I had to panic and I had to do everything all by myself. GD. Mike, how are you?
I don't like Riverside's interface. I've decided. I clicked the studio button. Riverside is the software we're using to do this, to broadcast it on YouTube. I clicked the button and there I was by myself and you were nowhere. So you started this and hosted it and somewhere it existed and I was not able to find it is what I'm getting at. I couldn't find how to get into the studio unless I was the host, which I wasn't because you were the host. They should just there is a session in session. There's a recording in session. Click here to join it. Something like that, right?
That would be interesting. I have just a recurring calendar event that has the link in it. The link that I sent you.
Yeah, well.
And typically what I do is I click on that link and then I say join. But I noticed today that before I click join, there's a little link at the bottom that says join as host. And so because I joined and you weren't there, so that I closed it and then I went back and I joined as host. And
see, that's also weird because I was in there. I've been in there for 10 minutes. And so obviously your link is different from the link I use. I click the button that says studio and I do it every single time. And that's always puts me in the right room, but not today. So
I click the link in the calendar every single time and I'm usually able to join you.
So I will get your link. This is totally useless for people watching this. They don't give a shit about hosting podcasts, but anyway, we'll square it up later. Where's Sean? Do you want to talk about where Sean is? Not here.
Sean's not here. Sean is unavailable.
Yeah, he couldn't join us today, so it's just me and Amanda. Glad to have you here and glad to be here finally.
I'm glad that you are finally here. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
So I have had a crazy, annoying thing happen. Oh, actually, first, before I start, I do, for anybody out there who is a Parks and Rec fan, I do want to very quickly say, Hail Zorp. Parks and Rec Are you a Parks and Rec fan?
Well, I am, but I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not as big enough fan to know the reference.
I'm a super nerd. One of the episodes, they have this group, Zorp, who wants to book the park overnight because they're part of a cult from the 70s and believe that Zorp is this alien king who's going to come down and destroy the world. So so based on calculations in the book that the cult leader wrote in the 70s, they keep trying to calculate the end of the world. Yeah. And so now it's May 20th, which is today. So
oh, nice.
Hail Zorp. That's it.
That sounds like it's based on come on, what's the guy's name?
Almost any other cult.
Well, yeah, but there's a specific guy
where they drank
from
the
the
Kool-Aid.
70s. No, that would be Jim Jones. He didn't predict dates. There was a guy who predicted actual dates and said, on this date, Jesus is gonna come back, whatever it is. And people sold their belongings. And then he'd say, well, it kind of didn't happen today, but it's gonna happen on this other day.
Yeah.
And Canning, his last name's Canning. And it doesn't matter. Again, nobody cares about this, but
Anyway,
that's
throughout
funny.
the course of the episode, the Earth does not end, and so then that guy, he comes back into the Parks Department office the next day, and he's like, "Oh, I miscalculated. It's actually going to end on May whatever." And Leslie Knope, the character, looks in the Parks Department calendar and is like, "Oh no, the park is booked that day." And he opens his manual really fast. He's like, "Oh, world's going to end on May 20th." And she checks her calendar and she's like, "Yup." And they agree that the world is going to end on May 20th so that he can book the park.
Perfect. And it's Harold Camping is his name. And that guy in the shot, was that the guy in the screenshot you just shared? That was a picture of the
That was
person
from
who
the TV show.
played the character who was the cult leader, because he looks just like him. So I'm sure it's modeled after him. Anyway,
Probably.
that's great.
I
Okay.
have had a crazy annoying thing happen
Yeah.
to me,
What
and I'm
happened?
so sad. So I think I've talked about it on here before. I made a website called Sidewalk Bingo. Everybody, please go check out sidewalkbingo.com. And it's just a cute little way to play a game of bingo while you're walking around. And then because I'm a nerd, I had to add to it. So I've made it so that users can register, and then you can create your own set of icons to randomly appear in play cards. And then you can share this game, this custom set of icons, you can like share it with your friends so that everybody can play at the same time. And then because I'm a super nerd, I made it with like server-side notifications so that, you know, when somebody wins, everybody else gets notified. Hey, this person won, your game is over. And I was really happy about it, and I was really proud, and I published it, and I've been making updates to it. But finally I was at a spot where I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it super live, public registration. And of course,
Nice.
trying to be secure and trying to make everything on the up and up. When you register, you get emailed an activation link, and you have to click on it before you can actually do anything with your account. That's sidewalkbingo.com. And
Show notes.
show notes, yeah. So over the last like week and a half, there has been like 50 plus registrations that are stuck in pending, and all of the usernames are just like a randomized string of about 50 characters long. And I got an email notification from the service that I use to send the emails. And they're like, you've had a bunch bounce, you've had some marked as spam. And yeah, I'm assuming it's bots that are making
Yeah.
all of these fake accounts. And it's like what do you possibly hope to gain? It's just some cute little site, sidewalkbingo.com, that I made myself for like funsies and to like practice some skills and to share with my friends. And this is why we can't have nice things. So, hey,
Yeah.
do you have any ideas about how I can make this more secure? Because I'm sure that everyone listening who has done their own thing, it's been wrecked. Stupid bots.
Well, so can you tell me what the process of signing up is right now? Like, do people that you said they get a verification email, they have to activate their account, is that correct?
Yes, that
So
is correct.
they're all pending, meaning they're not going anywhere because these aren't real people, so they're not getting
They're
activated.
they're
It's
not real
just
people. They're not real email addresses. I think that it's setting at about an 18% bounce rate. So they're sending it to email addresses that just do not exist.
yeah,
Yeah, and so the email address doesn't exist, so there's not a person to be able to click on the activate link
right.
button
Do you
or
have
the
when they
activate
first, yeah, the activate link in the email, right?
in the email. Yeah.
When they first get fill out the form to become a member and then eventually get the activation email, do you have any kind of spam checker in there, like reCAPTCHA or any of that shit?
I don't, because it's shit. because again, it's just some little thing that I put together that I thought would be fun. I honestly did not think that I would need like this extra level. I hate doing the reCAPTCHAs. I hate trying to
Yeah,
pick the squares that have a bus in it. I hate having to sit there for 4 seconds while was it Cloudflare decides that I'm not a robot, but it looks like I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to add something. So do you have any other ideas, or maybe you want to explain a bit better some of these things that we've just been sad about?
I too hate reCAPTCHA, any type of that. But I do
So I'm
use
sure,
them.
hold on. So I'm sure that for any viewer or listener who doesn't know what we mean by reCAPTCHA, it's that it's a way to prove that you're actually a human. And what has happened, like in the before four times, like in the early of the internet, there was like literally just a checkbox, because apparently bots, I guess at that point, they just knew how to fill in text fields and didn't know how to do a checkbox. I don't know. And from that, it's become more complicated. Like the form, the checkbox will mark on its own, and it's like some service that you sign up for. I don't know how they check. I'm sure they check IP addresses, or the fact that it took you more than zero point 0.4 seconds to fill out the entire form. And then sometimes it goes so far as the reCAPTCHA, those like, oh, where you see the letters and the numbers that are written really squiggly as an image, and you have to like type out what they are.
Yeah.
Those are awful.
Yep.
Or where you see the grid that's like a bunch of little images, and you have to like manually select the ones that have
Yeah.
a boat,
Sidewalks.
a
Yep.
bike, streetlights, whatever it is.
Yep. Yeah,
So
they're
yeah,
not, and they're not often as easy as you would think that they would be. Being like,
like
here,
to
let me
fill
share
out or
this
to
real quick.
install.
No, to use. Like, here, look at this. I shared this with you some time
Uh,
ago. This is
yep.
a captcha I got in a form. I don't know, trying to do something. It was like, oh, tell me what animal this is. Look at this fucking animal. What is that? Do
I
you,
have
is it a, it looks like it has a beak. I guess I assumed it was a rabbit. I picked rabbit, but
So yeah, so
I think I got it
for
wrong.
viewers, yeah, for podcast viewers who are only listening to this later,
Yeah.
it looks like it has a rabbit snout, but it does not have rabbit ears. It looks like it has like what, gopher ears, but it's a very light color fur that gophers probably don't have.
It's got a beard. It's got a scarf. I don't know what's going on here. Amanda, you're paused. You're frozen for a second.
Like in
Just
some
hold on
sort
a
of,
second. Oh, there you're back. You're back.
yeah. Anyway, here, Mac. So yeah, the scarf is like some red and white gingham pattern. It kind of
Yes.
tied like a cravat. So, and then the choices to select for this animal: tiger, woman, smiley, horse, koala, panda, clock, kangaroo, elephant. And it's like, it's clearly none of those things.
No, it sounds like you're diffusing a bomb when you said those words, like the
No.
like a Manchurian candidate, tiger, woman, smiley. Like that takes him out of his whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, this is one I've encountered once. So yeah, they're not often that easy for humans to complete.
No.
So they're super annoying. But the truth is, I do often use just good old fashioned reCAPTCHA version 2, which is a checkbox that says, please click this if you're a human being. And I've heard there's some things where it's like it can try to detect if the mouse pointer goes to the box in a perfectly straight line from where it was,
Oh,
because if it's sometimes robots like manually control the mouse, and they will like
yeah.
click, and that will be like, well, being a human being, you're not gonna
You're not
make a
gonna know.
straight line. You'll be a little
Yeah.
jagged line. So I don't know. It does all this crazy stuff, but I still do the reCAPTCHA, the Google one. It's not perfect. Sometimes it has false negatives, false positive, whatever it is, where it blocks people who are actual people.
Yeah.
Like, it's not perfect and it sucks, but
It's not.
that's what I do sometimes. So you might want to try adding one of those. I don't know.
I might have to.
Suggestion.
I've also heard in the past there's this other concept called the honeypot.
Yes.
So for new developers who maybe don't realize, the concept behind it is that and I never, well, no, I guess I do understand this. So you add an additional field to your form, but using CSS, you say display none, so that a user who is looking at the form, they're not going to see it. And someone who's using a screen reader, it's going to skip over it because you don't see the field, right? So it's not like it's affecting your actual users. But a bot is going to land on the page, and the bot action is just to fill out all the forms. So they're going to fill out all the forms that are visible, but also the forms that are displayed none. Yeah. Like this field that is this honeypot. And then on the form submit, you use some JavaScript that if there's any content in this honeypot field, because it was hidden, a user shouldn't see it, a user is not going to fill it out. If there's any content in it, the form was probably filled in by a bot, and then therefore with JavaScript, don't do it. But I've heard, don't submit the form. But I have heard in like the last few years that this method is no longer valid because the bots are starting to catch on to that. And can bots see styles on elements? I have no idea.
Well, I know that sometimes, in fact, every time I've seen a honeypot field, if you look at the source code of the page, it will say, and I guess this might be for screen readers or something, it will say next to that honeypot field, do not fill in this field. Like it gives you instructions, and maybe the bots are picking up on that and they're realizing, oh, don't fill it in. Okay. You know, because people use AI now, right? The bot guys have AI and it's much smarter than whatever algorithms and programs they were using before. But yeah, I've done that where it's like you name that honeypot field state or something that they might think, oh, well, the state, like what state do I live in? And very often we're in Canada, so I don't care about states. They don't factor into my forms. So you're baiting the bots to fill it in, but you don't let it succeed as a submit if they fill it in. But yeah, that's not perfect either. I sometimes do that and reCAPTCHA, which is extra annoying to have to do all that work. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know, man. It's tough.
Yeah. So I did start asking Claude AI about some things that I can do, and I didn't even read it. I just thought I would come and start complaining to you about it. And so here are some effective strategies to stop bot registrations before they happen. Number one, reCAPTCHA, which is what we're doing. Cloudflare turnstile, I think, is maybe the one that will like check mark it for you. HCAPTCHA is a good Google reCAPTCHA.
I don't know that one. Yeah.
But then Google reCAPTCHA version 3.
Yeah, that one's, see, I've tried that. I have had bad results with that. So that one it's like the checkbox, are you a human thing, but it's in the background and Google themselves make the decision. This person looks like a bot. I don't know what they're basing this on, but it does the logic on its own. So the user doesn't see anything and Google decides that was a real person, let it go through, or that wasn't. I've had bad experiences with that where it's blocking too much because you can like tell it how sensitive you want it to be, but I don't know how to gauge how sensitive it should be to detect a bot. So I find it either traps too many humans or lets too many bots in. So I don't know. I usually just go with the checkbox, even though I used to swear I would never make users do that, but I don't know.
This is why we can't have nice things. The second suggestion from Claude is a honeypot field, which is what we just talked about. It's a free, zero friction, surprisingly effective against unsophisticated bots. I guess that's the difference. It also suggests rate limiting to limit registration attempts per IP address. I guess.
Yeah, I wonder how often the bots are on the same IP address range. I guess I've heard that where it's like check your logs and whatever you think is a bot, look at the IP address, and presumably if they're all coming from the same Russian farm or whatever, they'll have the same string of IP addresses. I don't know if that's accurate or what, but I've heard that.
It's a time-based submission checks. Track how long it takes from page load to form submission. And if it's under 2 or 3 seconds, it's most certainly a bot.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I guess. But
although I have You go,
Go.
you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like it takes, like even with basic JavaScript, you just set a timeout for a few seconds. So I'd be really surprised if bots weren't already onto that trick.
Yeah, and I use 1Password as my password manager, and very often when I'm filling out a form, it says name, email address, phone number, address, all those typical fields. If
They're
I
already
just
filled in. Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Click.
manually click a thing and it already populates it all. So I mean, it wouldn't be within, I wouldn't submit it within 1 second. I double check everything, but it
Yeah,
does fill in pretty fast for me. So not
it
sure how
does.
effective that
Yeah.
is.
And then the last one, and I'm starting to see this a little bit more, which I also very much hate, is that you have to require email verification before there's any access. Like I've started coming across sites that uh, like on the first page, they just want my email address. And then I have to
Oh,
submit that form before I can get to a second page that then I like enter my password or I can like fill out
right.
the registration. So it is like this two-step process. I don't know if it's the two steps that is tricking the bots or if they somehow check the email address to see if it's in the
Yeah, I
system
mean,
already, to see if it's valid somehow. I'm not sure.
like I could see if just, I've never heard of that, but based on what you described, like for your Sidewalk Bingo app, if
Hmm.
you, not that you should do this, but I think the workflow would be you, okay, type in your email address, new user that wants an account, and they type it
Hmm.
in, submit, it sends an activation email sort of to their email address. They click a link that maybe goes to the rest of the form
To like
for them.
that actually registers them.
Yeah, so in your case, the bots would never get that, so they're just
Yeah,
constantly,
that's
but
a
you'd
good
still
point.
have all that traffic hitting the form with the email address field, right? Like they'd
Yeah,
still
and
reach that.
and and it would still be sending a lot of emails that get bounced.
Yeah, right. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
so I don't know. I've also a couple times lately seen there's also an uptick in sites that you don't even need to have like a username and password anymore. You like put in your username and then it asks you if you want like a single use code emailed to you or a text message with a single use code or enter your password. And it's like that's
Mm,
I guess, but that seems a lot.
yeah. And by the way, we did, so just to go back to the reCAPTCHA thing, just for anyone who hasn't used it, we were talking about how annoying it is to set up. The reason is because you got to go to Google and like their user interface for setting up a reCAPTCHA thing is incredibly bad. Like it's just
Yeah.
very difficult to follow. You create an account there, you get a secret key, and then you get a private key or something like that. Two different keys, sort of like SSH
SSH
stuff.
and yeah.
And you sort of put them into your website and it sends a payload when someone fills out the form and the Google says, hey, did you get the payload? Send me this other thing back. And there's this whole process that happens, but you need these two keys for every site that you're going to be setting that up on. So
Yeah.
it's super irritating
Yeah.
process.
And right now it's free, but because it's Google, who knows
That's
when
right.
that will change. I remember 100 years ago when Google's slogan was "Don't be evil." Isn't that nice? And
Yeah.
now they're one of them.
Well, there's a lot of other companies that don't have that slogan and they're perfectly comfortable being evil as well. So
Yeah. Oh, well,
that's even worse.
Google no longer has that slogan.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I'm
right.
saying.
I just wanted to quickly, speaking of bots, so you were talking about signing up, like bots that sign up for accounts or whatever, but I did
Mhm.
some digging as well about bot traffic on websites. Because I
Okay,
remember
cool.
years ago, I had this client that it was like a recipe submission website.
Mm,
Those recipe sites where here's how you make the best, da da da.
yeah.
And there were thousands and thousands of members on this site. It was a very, very big site, very popular. And she hired me to sort of do the analytics. And I did some digging and I found out, I think it was called C traffic, is what the term was back in the day. It's basically a measurement in Google Analytics that says this is basically a bot. This
Mm.
traffic right here, bots probably. And it was like 2/3 of their traffic. They were getting like hundreds of thousands of visits per month. And I
Yeah.
had to tell this poor client, listen, I'm sorry to do this, but I'm pretty sure a lot of this traffic is not real. And she
Yeah.
was like really concerned because there was like ads revenue and stuff that they had to account for. And I remember her saying like, it's so painful hearing that your stats are tanking basically, but it's because they didn't exist in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I just want to show, I looked into one of my sites. And I did so this is a screenshot of some traffic on my sites. I've blanked out some stuff, but so as you can see, the homepage, which is right here, got 616 visits in this particular time frame, which is
What
the
was it?
vast
Is it a
majority,
week,
62%.
a week or a month?
I can't remember what it is, but it was
Okay.
relative to the rest of them. You can see that it's the bulk of the visits,
Yeah.
right? And yet, average engagement time per user, 2 seconds for 600 people. So this is most likely bot traffic, or largely anyway.
Yeah.
So that's one way you can see is like if there's a huge spike on a particular page visit metric, but they don't engage. And I have another one here. Look at this one. 416 people from Singapore. This is my website I'm talking about. So I'd love to think I'm huge in Singapore. I don't think I am. So, and again, look at the average engagement time, 0 seconds.
Yeah.
For 416 people. So this is one quick way. If you have analytics running, you could go into your site and find out, you know, what's going on with the bots. That is most likely bot traffic. So
Yeah. So are
Pro
you just
tip
going to
there.
like block all of Singapore from seeing your site?
Yeah. Or maybe I'll start promoting Singapore focused content and see if I can like offset it with real people or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, just so
I
that
don't know
the
what I'm gonna do.
average visit time is longer. Yeah, I have Google Analytics on sidewalkbingo.com. But I haven't gone to look at it lately, but it's because it just made me sad. It was like, boo.
I mean, for personal stuff, even this one, like this is my site. If there's a lot of bots there, I don't like it, but I don't have to prove to anyone that I'm getting a huge, you know what I mean? It's just for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
for client stuff, it's important, but our own projects, not so much.
Yeah.
But it's definitely disappointing to see how gross the internet can be at times, you know?
It is. Yeah. Just people trying to be malicious and do malicious things. Like,
Yeah. And it's easy to make a robot, literally a program, just send it out there and say, oh, find forms somewhere and fill them in, or find sign up things.
yeah. And it is literally just to try to get access to sites to maybe eventually try to take advantage of some exploits. No, take advantage of some security issues and maybe try to get to the server and just all of it. Just boo on all of them.
Sometimes they look for like /admin or /wp-admin to try. You can see on your logs that they're hitting that to see if they can find out a way to get access to your site in case you're an important site, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
All right.
so if you are a regular listener to the Website 101 podcast and you make bots, reach out to us and let us know what you get out of it.
And you could be on the show. We'll black out your face. You know, you
put
can
on
wear
like a voice modulator.
handkerchief.
There you go. That would be lots of fun. So go to the website 101podcast.com/contact. And you can let us know what kind of malicious or even just for funsy things that you like to do when you make these bots that attack poor, sweet, innocent sites that are just for fun, like sidewalkbingo.com.
Right. And if you are someone who's been attacked and has some fun stories about bots, we want to hear from you too. So
yeah, that would be cool too. Nice. All right. It was nice talking to you, Mike.
You too, and you're the host, so you got to play us out, I guess, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot all about
Don't forget
that.
to turn it on live. See,
Media, it is on
button
live. Play.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, everyone.